Ooh, I don't know. Angel Reese, she might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey.
Angel Reese has once again walked away from the Chicago Sky. No warning, no explanation. She simply quit. Fans are furious, teammates are stunned, and the drama is sizzling hotter than any reality TV meltdown. Is this the final chapter of her WNBA career, or the prelude to her boldest move yet? Behind the scenes, the chaos is unbelievable, and you won't believe the full story until you hear it.
Wants to know. The whole world is wondering, where in the world is Batman? I'm joking. I want to know, us Chicago Sky fans, women's basketball, WNBA, Angel Reese fans, where in the world?
Angel Reese walking away from the Chicago Sky is about as surprising as the sunrise. I said this weeks ago, but suddenly everyone's acting like it's the sports bombshell of the year. Let's be real, this is classic Angel, creating the spotlight, dodging the grind. She's not about hustling for wins or diving for loose balls. She's about selfies, headlines, and trending hashtags. The second real effort comes calling. She disappears quicker than a missed free throw in crunch time.
I find it very symbolic, very almost funny, but not funny. Not funny, haha, but funny, sad. That out of all the bodily injuries that Angel Reese, a player, could experience, she's experiencing a back injury. Her back is literally hurting. And is it because that she is tired of carrying the weight of the Chicago Sky on her back, being that floor general and that floor leader? Did the Chicago Sky break Angel Reese's back?
This whole Rookie of the Year debate between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Please, it was never a contest. Saying it was close is like saying I'm close to buying a $20 million mansion, pure fantasy, cooked up by people starving for a storyline. The media kept fanning it because Clark runs away with it doesn't generate clicks. Reese's name lingered only because she's a headline machine, loud, flashy, perfect for social media buzz. But the film and the numbers? They weren't shouting dominance. They were gently hinting, maybe next season.
Listen, everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering, what is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of self-awareness here. Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you no longer, you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was.
You know who's really to blame for this whole circus? Everyone who kept hyping her up like she was the second coming of basketball greatness for doing the bare minimum. Every commentator who treated a garbage time double-double like it was a generational feat. Every fan who confused a few flashy poses and side-eye with actual leadership. You fed the hype machine until it needed its own jersey number. You turned routine effort into a Hall of Fame highlight. And now the Chicago Sky are stuck with the reality. When you hand the keys to someone who doesn't even want to drive, don't be shocked when the season ends up in a ditch.
She did wear the villain role on her sleeve, no doubt about that. She didn't do a lot to help herself when she was winning the NCAA championship last year against Iowa, and she was taunting Caitlin Clark. But did we forget that Caitlin Clark had been doing the same thing to numerous opponents throughout that season last year? That it wasn't until she was humbled in that national championship game against LSU that she dialed it back a little bit? You can't want to be the villain. You can't pride yourself in being the villain, and then you lose, and all of a sudden you succumb to those emotions. That is true to some degree. But usually when you lose, an opportunity to sit back and reflect, there's a mountain of emotions that get heaped on your shoulders, and it's hard to hold it in. Not to mention when teammates are coming to your defense because they realize assaults against you have been so.
Chicago isn't home for Angel. It's just Maryland 2.0, another flashy pit stop on her endless look-at-me tour. She's already scouting her next LSU, a stacked, move-in-ready roster where others do the heavy lifting, and she swoops in for the victory photo op. That's her whole playbook: skip the grind, dodge the blueprints, and slide straight into a championship house someone else built. She's not the architect, not the engine, not the foundation. She's the tenant who shows up after the work's done, rearranges the furniture, and brags about how amazing the place looks.
Something that isn't. She's got a back injury. Like, I'm not going to be out here saying that Angel Reese needs to go out and play through a damn back injury. I just don't think is the case, especially when your team is as bad as it is. Like, absolutely just stinking it up constantly. Like the Chicago Sky.
The Sky didn't just draft Angel Reese, they bought front row seats to every dramatic exit and every "I'm not feeling it" moment. And if she ever did throw in the towel, it'd take her 4 tries to even get it near the court. Reese plays for one person, herself, not her teammates, not the fans, and definitely not the franchise. She's chasing attention, endorsements, interviews, and Instagram likes. The moment adversity shows up, poof, she's gone. Caitlin Clark is the opposite. She cares about the craft. She wants to win. She's hungry to improve, grinding when nobody's watching. Clark doesn't need to be the loudest in the room, because she's the one hitting the shots that make the room erupt. Reese? She's in the corner, checking if the lighting's good for her post-game outfit pick. One rookie is building a career. The other is building a brand, and hoping nobody notices the difference.
You threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in.
Let's talk leadership. Real leaders carry the weight. They own the losses, share the wins, and set the tone. Reese? She's allergic to accountability. You'll never hear, "That one's on me." It's always the shrug, the side eye, the unspoken "they're the problem, not me." When your whole game plan is riding coattails, you can't admit you're the one slowing the horse down. Champions are made in the workouts and film sessions. Reese skips the grind, but here's the twisted part. She'll get more attention for quitting than half the league gets for winning. That's the luxury of being brand first. The headlines roll, and whether you deliver or not. Quit once, maybe it's a story. Quit twice, and it's your resume. At this point, Angel Reese isn't shocking anyone. She's made disappearing her signature move, the WNBA's Houdini, except without the mystery.
Listen, Angel Reese has thrown in the towel. She refuses to travel with the team. Once again, the team has a road game. We already saw she refused to travel with the team to Indiana versus the Fever. Now they head to Connecticut to take on the worst team in the league. Yes, they finally win against a team that is worse than them, the Connecticut Sun.
And here's the kicker. Even with all this drama, Reese will find a way to spin it into a self-care or empowerment narrative, because that's what plays on Instagram. Give it a week and she'll be on a podcast talking about how she had to protect her peace, skipping over the part where peace apparently meant bailing on her actual job. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is grinding like minutes are oxygen, taking hits, drawing doubles, and still delivering. That's the difference between chasing greatness and chasing clout. Chicago Sky fans deserve better than a player who treats the season like a side hustle. They deserve someone who shows up when the lights are bright and when the arena's half empty, who puts in the work when nobody's watching. Angel Reese isn't that player. She's the star of her own movie, and the rest of the roster? Just set decoration. If the Sky are smart, they'll treat this as a wake-up call. Stop drafting hype, start drafting heart. Hype gets you headlines in July. Heart gets you trophies in September.
Nobody knew what had happened on the day. Nothing had happened. Then somebody got into Angel Reese's ear to say that this happened, and she then doubled and tripled down, saying that something happened even though she didn't hear it herself. And then she's there reposting tweets or reposting TikToks saying that Gamebridge is dangerous for her and it's a danger if she goes to Gamebridge and all of this crap. Like, so Angel